So I see Kirby at the Derby quite a bit, and I don't know if she remembers this, but about 15 years ago, she interviewed me and won Donald Trump together. I'm sure his horse won, but we'll have to check with him. So, being a Louisvillian, my story starts with being 11 years old, being at the Derby with my family. And in those days, the infield was very family friendly, not like it is today. Yeah. No streaking back in those days, right. So anyway, we had a picnic basket and a blanket, and we were right by the finish line of the Kentucky Derby. And it was Northern Dancer, 1964, and I'm on my dad's shoulders, and I'm right there at the finish line, and I see Northern Dancer beat Hill Rise, boom, right where I am, and it's seared in your mind, you know, my own photo finish. And I had $10 on Northern Dancer. So that started my lifelong love affair with horses in general, the Derby in particular, and putting a bet down now and then and again. So over the years, as we've grown up, we've looked for different strategies of how to find your Derby horse. And what we've come down to is there's just too many choices, too many stories, too many horses. You have to separate the contenders from the pretenders and find your key horse. You do all your bets around that key horse. If it works out, it works out. Doesn't work out, doesn't work out. But you don't spend all this money trying to do every exotic and trying to follow every smart guy that tells you who's going to win. So as the years go on, this particular story keys in on 1987. So we see a lot of the prep races before the Derby. And so the Bluegrass down in Lexington, Kirby might have still been there, I don't know. And was so Alice Sheba, who was a horse that was coming on, but still was only a contender, wasn't one of the favorites certainly for the Derby. So he wins the Bluegrass, but then he's disqualified and he's put down to fourth. So by coincidence, I'm standing next to Jack Van Berg, who's the trainer of Alice Sheba. And the press runs up, out of breath, and they're like, oh, Mr. Van Berg, how's Alice Sheba going to feel about, you know, he didn't win his last race before the Derby? And Jack Van Berg, old Kentucky hard boot, he sort of wheels back and he goes, boys, that horse can't read. He thought he won. I said, you know, that's a pretty good point, you know. So we put him on the contender list as we start to separate contenders and pretenders. So one of the things we do is we go to the backside of Churchill Downs in the week or two leading up to the Derby and look at the horses, see if you can get a feel for it. You might see people that you really trust their opinion, like jock agents or excellent people to get information from. So Derby horses tip you off. They come out and they just have the panache, they got the confidence, they got the walk. And Alice Sheba comes out for a morning walk out and he just says, boys, there's a new sheriff in town. And he just looks the part. We go, boom, that's our horse. Alice Sheba's our key horse. So we start putting together some other horses to go with our bet. And there was a horse out of Florida, Bet Twice, and Alice Sheba. Those were the two we were really keen in on. And then the Demons Be Gone had won the Arkansas Derby. And I think, was pretty close to undefeated. And he was the favorite. So you just can't, like I say, you got to have your horse and just shut out everybody else. And everybody was talking about how Demons Be Gone couldn't be beat. So it's Derby Day. The gates open, they break, it's a big field. Alashiba gets shuffled way back. So, not so good, because you want your horse back to save something for the end, but not too far back. And then Bet Twice, he's okay. And Demons Be Gone is running on the outside, looks like he's gonna make a move, and they go down the backside, and then all of a sudden, Demons Be Gone pulls up. It turned out that he bled, so all of a sudden, the favorite's out of the race, so the whole complexity of the race is changed. And they're starting to go, and they turn for the second, and then the last turn, and Bet Twice is starting to make a little move. Alashiba's still far back, but he's starting to thread through the horses. And then Bet Twice, he's starting to pull over, and Alashiba, he's starting to come through. And then Alashiba's coming, and Alashiba's running through the middle, and they clip hills with Bet Twice. Horse almost goes down. They pull back up, he has to regroup. Bet Twice looks like he's getting away. Alashiba runs on the right, and they're coming to the right, and Alashiba wins. So all of a sudden, they were going, oh my God, just as we handicapped it, Alashiba Bet Twice. And so by this time, we've moved to the turf club from the infield, and we're screaming and we're yelling and like, oh my God, we made a plan, and it actually worked out. And then we're waiting for him to post the numbers, and the exact is over $100, and we've got it over 100 times, and we're looking and almost $20 to win on Alashiba, and Bet Twice is 10, and we're looking at it, and they post all the numbers, and we get our tickets out, and we've won $25,000. And so we're totally excited, and then we go, oh, let's go cash our tickets, and we run up to the window and engaged in a conversation you rarely get at the track. We gave them the tickets, and they said, oh, we don't have enough money. We got to go back in the cage. And we said, no problem. We'll be here when you get back. Thanks.